Dream, NoFap Celibacy, days 19 to 20. I was sat at a table in what I thought as I was sitting there was a pit and pendulum-like pub, but was actually far less doomy and much brighter. I invited Babita, Giotti and other friends to come join me. Babita and Giotti arrived at the same time. Babita looked confused. I told her, "Oh, I invited more of my friends to meet us too," obviously forgetting to do so before. She seemed to disapprove by pulling a face and rolling her eyes as if she thought we weren't looking. I looked out the window and it looked as if the pub was in a cloister, arches, pillars, but metropolitan people were walking through it, like it was part of an arcade actually. I had my rucksack, iPod and Mum's iPad with me. Babita asked if she could use my Mum's iPad, so I said yes. So up she got and just walked off, staring at it, but I trusted her. I had to go out for something, but when I came back, Giotti had gone, and my rucksack and iPod had been moved to the bar area to be looked after by the staff, sans iPad. I asked the staff about this, but they weren't aware of any iPad. So I went outside to ring Babita. I kept getting through to weird, pre-recorded messages, and then finally her person. My upset and frustration as to the whereabouts of my mother's iPad wasn't helped by how we couldn't talk properly over the phone for the noise. A nearby truck pulling a massive trailer was groaning in struggle up a very steep hill. I desperately looked for somewhere quiet whilst it was slowing down and going faster and over up the hill until it finally made it, and we could finally hear each other. But she told me she handed it in to the bar staff because Giotti and me had disappeared. I wasn't convinced because of her weird attitude before, but I said okay, went back to the pub, asked them again, and when they said we don't have it, picked up my stuff and walked through the city crying, feeling terribly guilty that I had lost my mother's stuff that was saved on there. Such intense crying sensations for a dream that I wonder if I was actually crying in my sleep. I also wonder if I dreamt this because my old laptop hasn't been starting properly. I did have a nicer dream where me, Sophie and others went to a muddy but really cool night festival that had lots of lights, giant sparklers and fires going. It was quite rave-like. And I wonder if this bit was influenced by setting my alarm for 3:30 AM to go outside and look at the red moon. Beautiful. Thankfully, it didn't take me long to fall back to sleep and dream about this festival. So we've had a very sad dream, a nice euphoric one, and now for a weird one. I was watching video commercials for sex therapists. They were advertising themselves with their phone numbers and convincing spiel. How American! I thought, how unlikely some of them looked, especially one guy who was bald, greying, middle-aged and mustachioed. This is just what I thought in my dream. I try not to be too lookist in real life. Sure, a sex therapist can look like anyone, but anyway. I was annoyed that this guy's phone number was titled with "The Celibate Has-Beens" in block red capitals, as if being celibate was a bad thing. I was watching him walk around the interior of a stately home like Chatsworth or Newstead Abbey, giving advice to callers via some invisible communications system. The interiors were quite dark, as if he was walking around a place that was shut. Very strange.